Microsoft has good and bad news for Xbox fans. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and welcome to my channel, Xbox Ready, where I talk about Xbox stuff. A couple of days ago, Microsoft released its Q3 earnings report, and it's got some good news in terms of its overall business, but also some bad news in terms of Xbox stuff. So let's dive into it. So overall, as a business, Microsoft is doing pretty well. They made $61.9 billion in revenue and had a net income of $21.9 billion during Q3, which accounts for an overall revenue increase of 17% and a net income increase of 20%. So that's pretty good, right? Like Microsoft Office, they had a very strong showing this quarter. Microsoft Cloud revenue up 23% year over year. Windows OEM revenue up 11%. All good things, all good things. This is all coming out around the same time they were just bragging about their new Snapdragon chips that they were going to be putting in their Windows devices. They're like, yeah, we feel so confident about these things. It's going to be awesome. And over on the Xbox side, gaming content and services revenue increased by 62%, and that, yes, includes Game Pass. They're seeing some pretty decent sales numbers from the games that they decided to put on PS5, like Sea of Thieves and Grounded. And in a weird twist of fate, they had a lot of Xbox published games selling in the top 25 in the PS Store. But despite success in so many other areas, Xbox hardware is down year over year by another 31%. And Microsoft even admitted in these filings that they just did that it's because of a lower volume of consoles sold. This is following last year, where they experienced pretty much the same thing, another 30% drop in hardware revenue. According to The Verge, though, overall gaming revenue is up by 51%. But if you were to take out Activision Blizzard entirely, they would either have declined or have just increased by 1%, making that acquisition pretty much the smartest thing that Microsoft has ever done. And it's not just going to stop there. Microsoft CFO Amy Hood predicts in the next quarter that there's going to be another decline in hardware revenue. So what do we make of this as fans? Like, why should we care about the money that a giant corporation makes, whether it's 60 billion versus 70 billion versus 40 billion? Who cares? Well, someone has been a fan of Xbox for many years, and as someone who has been covering them on YouTube for a while, this is a glimpse of what's to come, not only for Xbox, but for the video game industry at large. Because while the big story here is that, yes, not as many people are buying Xbox consoles as we may have initially hoped at the beginning of this generation, but video game console sales as a whole are declining. Over in Europe, PlayStation 5 consoles have experienced a 30% drop year over year in sales as well. As of April 15th, PlayStation 5 was the top-selling console in Europe. But PS5 sales compared to the same month for the PS4 in 2017 are down by almost over 200,000 units. And according to VG charts, PS5 sales compared to the same month a year ago are down by 194,426, which is about a 34% drop. Series X and S sales are hovering about the same in terms of losses. People are not buying consoles in the same way that they were a year ago or 7 years ago back in 2017, and you have to wonder, what does this all mean? Now for Xbox, the obvious answer is lack of those killer exclusives. They launched without a flagship game, they had to push Halo Infinite back a year, and all of those titles that we are hyped to see coming into this generation, like Fable, Everwild, Elder Scrolls 6, those are still years off. Maybe like Gear 6 is gonna come soon, who knows, but like the really big titles that we were like, oh yeah, they're gonna be Xbox exclusives, they haven't really shown up yet. Phil Spencer in the past has been like, nah, like even if we had like this crazy killer game, no one's gonna go out and buy an Xbox over it because their digital libraries are tied up in other platforms. And that's kind of the one thing that I've always disagreed with him on. If you have a consistent stream of really, really good games that you can play on a certain platform that you can't play on anywhere else, people are going to buy that hardware. Of course, that's just my opinion as a dude with a camera and a YouTube channel. But maybe that's not what he actually believes. Maybe he was just signaling Xbox's disinterest in exclusives as a whole. Think about it. It's probably safe to say that Xbox, as a brand right now, is making more money than it ever has. That's probably not a stretch. And yes, I am also including like the glory days of the Xbox 360 when everyone was playing Halo 3, everyone is playing Gears. Microsoft, Xbox, they are seeing right now with their very eyes that they can make a ton of money off of their gaming division while still not really selling that many Xbox consoles. This whole multi-prong approach of the ecosystem, publishing games on PC, shipping their games to other platforms. In a weird, weird way, it is working. And it's pretty much the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. When they first announced Activision Blizzard that they were going to be acquiring it, I was like, oh, they're going to buy Activision Blizzard, and like they did with Bethesda, they're going to make those titles exclusive to Xbox, and people will be like, oh, shoot, I got to go buy an Xbox if I want to play the new Call of Duty. Of course, that's not how it played out. They were like, no, we're going to keep all those games multi-platform, number one, so we can get this approved in the first place, and number two, so we can make more money. And now they are one of the biggest gaming publishers on PC, on PlayStation, on Nintendo, and it's weird. It is weird. And while they've come out and said in a million different ways that they are going to keep making hardware, they are going to keep making consoles, stuff like this begs the question, like, how long are they going to keep this up? People aren't buying Xboxes, less and less people are buying PlayStation 5s and Nintendo consoles. If Xbox hardware revenue continues to decline by another 30%, it's just like an overall fraction of what it was just a couple of years ago. Will they keep this thing on life support if they're like, well, we don't really need it anyway, we're still making a bunch of money? Hopefully the answer is yes, because I really want to see what's going on with this Xbox handheld. I really want just a traditional console experience from Microsoft. I don't want it to be the only thing, the only way I play my games, because I do like playing Xbox games on PC. I do like playing them on the cloud, but they should keep it just that. They should keep it a triangle. Hey, you want to play on PC? Cool. Hey, you want to play on Xbox? Cool. Hey, you want to play on the cloud? Yes. Awesome. But that's me personally, though. That may not be you. You're like, you know what? I don't give a crap about PC. I don't give a crap about cloud gaming. I just want an Xbox console. And if they're not going to give it to me, then I'm out. I will be really, really, really interested to see what they do with this next generation of hardware that they're supposed to be teasing any day now. We have some clues regarding that. Of course, back in February, Xbox leadership did a special edition of the Xbox official podcast. And Sarah Bond was like, yeah, at the end of this year, we're going to be teasing new Xbox consoles, and it's going to be the largest, craziest leap in console generation history. It's going to blow your mind. But of course, there's also been rumors about an Xbox handheld coming out alongside that souped up next-gen Xbox beast. Apparently, it's being worked on by the Surface team. It's going to be dockable so you can play it on a monitor or a TV. We know that Phil Spencer loves gaming handhelds and would like to have an Xbox experience perfectly translated to a portable device. And as of Monday, people were just randomly waking up to emails from Microsoft that included a survey asking questions like, hey, like, what's your experience with handheld gaming devices? Do you have a Steam Deck? Do you have an ROG Ally? Are you planning on buying a handheld gaming device sometime in, I don't know, the next 3-5 years? Jez Corden over at Windows Central was apparently the recipient of one of these surveys. He said the survey was about 7 minutes long. Instead, it asked some questions like, what gaming devices do you have? Do you use Xbox Game Pass? Do you use cloud gaming? He was also asked specifically if he uses Xbox Game Pass on any of his gaming handhelds, how often he uses his gaming handhelds compared to his consoles, and how important it is for gaming handhelds to be able to stream cloud games. So even if they're not working on it, even if all the rumors are just bogus, they're malarkey, whatever you want to call them, they are clearly trying to gauge interest in their customer base to see if they would with an Xbox handheld. Now, a lot of people have been in my comments being like, Xbox handheld, not for me. I don't see myself buying one, using one, whatever. But to me, it makes the most sense. Sure, whatever Sarah Bond referenced back in February, this new Xbox that was going to have this crazy graphical technical performance leap. Sure, that sounds interesting to me, but we've already kind of seen how it plays out when Xbox leans into, oh, this is the world's most powerful console. And they did it this generation with the Series X. And then they were like, you know what, we're going to have a cheaper version of our Xbox that does mostly the same stuff, just not as good as the Series X. And what do you know, over the past couple of years, something like 70% of the series consoles have been the Xbox Series S, the less powerful version. We know that console power, graphics, performance, it doesn't always necessarily directly lead to more sales. Just look at Nintendo. It makes sense to me personally that for next generation, they were like, okay, we're going to have an Xbox handheld, not going to be as powerful as a traditional console, but it'll have more versatility. You can use it on the go. You can use it on your TV. You can use it to stream games. The whole trifecta of what the Xbox brand is about right now. Playing your games when you want, how you want, whether it's natively streamed on the go, on your TV, wherever. But again, with Xbox sales declining another 30% year over year, I find it hard to imagine that they would come out with 2 more Xbox consoles. But it seems like they're going to. They're of course going to keep selling and supporting the Series X and S. We know that they're going to have next-gen Xboxes. But if they decided to ditch hardware, they were like, you know what, our consoles are just not selling at the rate that we want them to, definitely not at the rate that justifies investment. I think it could be a really cool opportunity for them to just focus on the games, just focus on delivering banger after banger after banger. Don't worry about the hardware. We're hearing reports that they want to make a further investment into Bethesda Studios so they can up their game output following the success of Fallout TV series. I think that would be awesome. Like, get someone, a dedicated studio, to just be working on Fallout stuff all the time. But yeah, seeing earnings reports like this, it's very clear that Xbox, they're going to focus more on the games, less on the hardware. And when it comes to what games we have to look forward to exactly, we're going to find out on June 9th. That is right, that is the official date for the Xbox Summer Showcase, and they're going to be following it up right after with a Call of Duty Direct, kind of like how they did it last year where they did the show and then they had a Starfield Direct. I woke up to an email from my friends at Xbox inviting me to another show. I'm very, very excited to attend. I really like going to these. I'm grateful to my friends at Xbox for inviting me out again. It's just a convergence of so many other cool creators and fans. Like, you interact with these types of people online and in the comments, but seeing everyone in person and getting to engage and drink and talk games and talk about our excitement for the future, it's just different when you get to do it in person. Now, in terms of things we can expect, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. Another gameplay trailer for Fable, Avowed. We got a reveal trailer for South of Midnight last year, so we'll probably get the gameplay version or at least like a cinematic or something like that. More info about South of Midnight. We know the Shattered Space expansion is going to be coming to Starfield this year, so probably going to get a date on that as well. Other than that, we'll probably just get more hype for stuff that's already been established, like Indiana Jones, maybe a date on Stalker 2 and when we can expect it on Game Pass. Another trailer for Clockwork Revolution, maybe a date on that. Prior to this, we were hearing some rumors that they were going to show off Gear 6 and that it was going to look so good in Unreal Engine 5 that our minds were going to be blown. We were pretty much going to shit our pants. It would be really, really cool for a lot of people out there if they were like, hey, check this out. Hollow Knight Silksong, baby. In terms of any hardware, they may or may not reveal this digital Series X, this white kind of block of tofu that we got pictures of not too long ago. Last year, they revealed the Black Series S at the end of the showcase, so, I mean, it would make sense if this thing is real to reveal it at the end of this show. As far as Call of Duty Direct, Xbox isn't coming out and saying that it is Call of Duty. They're saying that it's redacted Direct, and that it's going to be showing off the next installment in a beloved franchise, but Tom Warren over at The Verge is like, yeah, my sources are telling me that it's Call of Duty. It's going to be Call of Duty Direct. I'm not really a big Call of Duty guy, so I can't say what exactly you can expect from this next Call of Duty game, if that's what it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, here's the next Call of Duty game. It's not going to be a sequel or like a reboot of something that we did, you know, years ago. It's a new game. And oh, by the way, some of these older titles, we're going to be bringing to Game Pass and adding them. I don't know if they're going to be doing it again, but last year, me, some other creators, press, we got an extended look at some of the games that were shown off, like Dungeons of Hinterberg, 33 Immortals, and Forza Motorsport. So if they do that again, and they invite me back again, I'm going to be hopping back on here to tell you all about it, just like I did last year. But I'm super excited. Summer Games Fest is that weekend. The Xbox Showcase is that weekend. I'll be coming fresh off of a bachelor party the week before. And then after that weekend, I'm going to be heading back to Texas. I'm moving. Lots of stuff going on in my life right now, but thanks for taking a second and talking Xbox with me. If you've made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.